Hey everyone, and welcome. So, what if I told you that big turning point you've been waiting for, well, what if it isn't months away? What if it can happen in just one focused week? Today, we're going to break down 5 super simple habits that can spark a real, genuine transformation in just 7 days. You ready? Let's get started. You know, this quote from Jim Rohn, it just nails it, doesn't it? Your life doesn't get better by chance, it gets better by change. So many of us get stuck just waiting, hoping things will magically improve. But the hard truth is, real progress isn't about luck. It's about the choices we make, the intentional actions we decide to take. And let's be real, this is a struggle we all know way too well, right? We get trapped in this cycle of wanting to change, but we're just completely overwhelmed. We don't even know where to start, so we sit around hoping for some kind of magic bullet when the real power, the actual power, is in just making a commitment. Even a tiny one. And what's so powerful about this is that we're not talking about some massive, scary overhaul of your entire life overnight. No way. The secret sauce here is momentum. It's all about building a chain of small, consistent wins, day after day, for one focused week. That's how you prove to yourself that, hey, change is totally possible. All right, so let's get into our very first habit, and honestly, this one might be the most important of all. You know the biggest mistake we all make? We try to change everything at once. We get all fired up on a Monday and decide we're going to fix our sleep, our diet, our workout routine, our entire life, all in one go. And what happens? We burn out. Every single time. And this brings us to a golden rule. Consistency beats intensity. Every single time. Look, those heroic, all-out efforts, they never last. But a small, daily action, that's sustainable. The goal is to make the habit so small, so ridiculously easy, that your brain literally can't find a good excuse not to do it. That's how you sneak past the resistance and start building a real foundation for change. I mean, just think about James Clear, the guy who wrote Atomic Habits. Before he was a massive bestseller, he made a tiny commitment to himself. Just write one single page a day. That's it. And that simple, consistent act, done over and over again, eventually compounded into these incredible results. It's just powerful proof that these tiny actions really, truly add up. Okay, so how do you actually apply this? It's simple. Pick one thing. Just one. Maybe it's reading 10 pages of a book or just moving your body for 5 minutes. The key is to make it small and commit to it every day for just 7 days. Because when you keep that promise to yourself, you start building self-trust. And let me tell you, that is the real fuel for confidence.
Okay, moving on to habit number 2, and you'll see how this builds on the first one. So many of us fall into the trap of waiting for motivation to strike like lightning. But here's the thing, motivation is flaky. It comes and goes. Real, lasting change is built on discipline. And discipline is just showing up day after day, especially on the days you really don't feel it.
A perfect example of this in action is the famous Seinfeld strategy. Jerry Seinfeld, right? His method was so simple, it's brilliant. His goal was to write jokes every single day. And every day he did it, he'd put a big red X on a calendar. After a few days, you've got a chain. And then your only job is to not break the chain. That's it. That's how he built an entire legendary career, one X at a time. So you see, the secret isn't intensity, it's repetition. These small actions, they don't trigger that big red alarm of fear or overwhelm in your brain. They kind of just sneak past your internal resistance. And before you know it, you've built a rhythm. You've built a sense of reliability with yourself. You become the kind of person who just follows through. All right, on to habit number 3. And in the world we live in today, this one is an absolute superpower. I'm talking about focus. It is honestly one of the most valuable and rarest skills you can possibly build. We are in a constant 24/7 battle for our own attention. And this quote just says it all, doesn't it? If you don't control your focus, the world will control it for you. I mean, think about it. Every single app, every notification, every ping, it's all designed to pull you away from what you're trying to do. And if you let those distractions win, you're not just losing time, you're losing energy, you're losing your potential. I mean, just look at this. We've all had those days where we feel super busy, right? Running around, putting out fires. But when you actually break it down, a shocking amount of our time can just vanish into endless scrolling, notifications, and other low-value stuff. And it leaves almost no room for the deep, focused work that actually pushes the needle forward. So the connection here is incredibly direct. It's powerful. When you reclaim your focus, you are literally reclaiming your life from all that noise. So how do we fight back? Again, you start small. Try setting aside just a 30-minute focus block every day. And during that time, put your phone in another room. Seriously, turn off all the unnecessary notifications. Work on one single task. The idea is to design your environment so that focusing becomes the easy choice, not the hard one.
Okay, let's talk about the absolute foundation for, well, everything. Your health. And listen, this is not some optional side quest you get to when you finally have time. Your health is the engine that powers all of your ambitions. If that engine isn't running, nothing else is moving forward. Period.
And the story of Ariana Huffington is such a powerful reminder of this. She was at the absolute peak of her career, building the Huffington Post into a media giant, and she literally collapsed from pure exhaustion. Talk about a wake-up call. That's when she realized that success is totally meaningless if you destroy your well-being to get it. Your health has to be non-negotiable. And look, this doesn't have to be some extreme gym routine. Just think of these as small daily deposits into your energy bank account. A 20-minute walk, drinking a little more water, getting good quality sleep. These simple, fundamental actions are what unlock everything else, because a strong body really does build a strong mind. And that brings us to our fifth and final habit. You know, we have this idea that confidence is something you're just born with, but that's not true at all. Confidence is earned, and you earn it by acknowledging your own progress, especially the small wins that nobody else is around to applaud.
And hey, this is not some new age idea. This goes way back. Benjamin Franklin famously had this little book where he tracked his progress on 13 different personal virtues. He knew, even back then, that by systematically tracking his efforts, he could actually see and drive real improvement. And that leads to a simple but profound truth. What gets tracked gets improved. It's that simple. When you actually take a second to write down your wins, no matter how tiny they seem, you're making your progress visible. You're creating this positive feedback loop that builds momentum and fuels your motivation, especially on those days when you feel like you're going nowhere.
So I've got a simple challenge for you for this 1 week. Grab a notebook or use an app, whatever works, and just record one win each day. That's it. Maybe you resisted scrolling on your phone, or maybe you actually went for that walk. At the end of the week, just read your list. I promise you will be amazed at what you see. So let's do a quick recap of the 5 habits. Number 1, start with just one habit. Number 2, prioritize consistent action over everything else. Number 3, limit those distractions, like your life depends on it. Number 4, put your health first always. And number 5, track your small wins to build real earned confidence. Look, at the end of the day, these habits aren't just about tweaking your schedule. They're about changing who you see yourself as. And it all starts with just 1 week of commitment. The life you really want, it's right there on the other side of your discipline. So the only real question left is, are you ready to start your week?